All right, so good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us from all over the Americas. Today, our guest is Jordi Vilaseca, the co-founder of Destination Spain and Portugal. And today we are doing part 3 of those extraordinary little experiences that you have for us in Spain and Portugal. Huh? So yes. Jordi, we are listening.
Well, the first thing to say before sharing a presentation for you is that we already sent an email that many of you probably have received, but if not, I'm very pleased to announce that June 7th, Spain will open borders for all citizens fully vaccinated. The only requirement so far is to approve of vaccination. And it has to be a vaccine accepted by the European Union or the World Health Organization, which is probably the vaccine that you and your clients have. In Europe, we are running with Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, and Janssen, which probably is the ones that most of you have, but many others are also accepted. Details about regulation for entry allowance will come before June 7th, but the good thing is that no restrictions from nationalities or countries of origin to enter Spain as long as you are vaccinated.
Oh, so that's great news.
This is a great thing. We are very happy in Spain. And I would like to add finally just that Spain, as well as the rest of Europe, has been under severe regulations and restrictions of mobility. But so far, these restrictions have been released, most of them, and life is, I would say, almost normal. Only the face mask bothers us every day that we go outside. But other than this, this is expected also to be released soon, probably in 2-3 weeks, and life will look really normal, hopefully in a few weeks.
You were already telling me when we were waiting that the restaurants are open until midnight and it's like life is back to normal.
Yes, and actually we have been like 6 months that we couldn't even go outside for lunch or dinner with friends, not even at lunchtime. But now life is like smiling to every one of us again. And well, let's cross fingers that things don't worsen again.
Before we start, maybe we can answer Marianne's question. She said the process of the protocol, the museum, the site, how is it going to be open for private tour, the hotel situation, the service, the staff, maybe it's part of the same conversation.
Well, all hotels, open hotels and hotels that will open in the next weeks, they are all following cleaning and COVID protocols to be safe hotels. The same for transfers, the same for coaches, the same for guides. All the people working in the tourism industry has been instructed to follow strict protocols, and they are doing that. But besides that, I must say that the level of spread of the pandemic in Spain is really getting quickly down in Spain. We have very few people affected every week. And that's probably thanks to the vaccination process that we already have 30% of the people, 35% of the people vaccinated and 5% adding every week of people vaccinated. So far, the restriction, the main restriction or the bothering restriction is that you still have to wear a face mask when you are outside. But this can be released probably in the next 2-3 weeks. And at least for when you are outside, when you are in the interior of a place, maybe you are required to wear that face mask. And in terms of museums and restaurants, there might be some restrictions for capacity. So maybe if you go to a museum or a monument, lines may be a little bit longer, but all these places have set booking systems so that you don't have to wait. You have a specific hour to go and visit that, and that makes things very easy. But again, a week ago, only 30% of the restaurant capacity was allowed. Today is 50%, and probably in a few weeks it will be 75%. And if it is outside in the terrace, it's 100%.
So yeah, it's really going fast, huh?
Yes, very fast, very fast.
Margarita, buenos dias. You're asking how the kids are going to come into Spain, get inside in Spain.
Kids, you mean kids?
Yeah, the kids which are not vaccinated.
Right. They didn't disclose the regulation about kids, but it's true that in Spain, we are not vaccinating people under 18 years old right now.
Mhm.
So my guess is that people younger than 18 will be accepted for entry without vaccination.
Ah, okay, perfect. Would there be any protocol, Margarita is saying, if the kids are entering
Well,
Spain?
I think that probably before entering Spain, you will be asked to fill a form online
Mhm,
so that the authorities know about you and who has been vaccinated and who not before arrival.
mhm.
I must say that your you need to have to be fully vaccinated. So if your vaccine is 2 shots, you have to have the second shot at least 14 days before arrival.
Mhm. Doki,
So
you're
it's not
asking,
that you have been vaccinated the day before.
yes, yeah. Doki is asking, is there any chance Portugal will be open too in June?
Well, I asked them before today's webinar, and they don't have yet a message or public message from the government about this,
Mhm,
but I don't think they will take longer than 2 weeks to make the same announcement,
mhm.
because all over Europe the situation is very, very similar.
Yeah.
So,
And
for
Stephanie,
example, and sorry, and every country is a different world. For example, in Holland, they have not wear face masks in all the pandemic,
yeah. Mhm,
and all the other countries we had to use face masks. So
yeah.
countries operate differently, but we are all on the same
Voilà.
continent.
Just to reconfirm for Stephanie's question, there is no more quarantine when you're getting.
No,
Huh? Voilà.
no quarantine.
All right. So
For
then,
example, today, sorry, an example, today, from today on, British citizens are admitted to enter in Spain without any type of document other than the passport,
mhm,
not even a proof of vaccination.
mhm. Yep. I'm reading also Margarita question. You said in August the Spanish will be vaccinated. Do we know the next? There will be a lot of places which are closed in August. Because
No,
basically you're
actually,
saying, Margarita, that the Mexican will be able to travel in August. And is it a good month to travel, or you're going to have a lot of, or everybody's going to be open this year, more than usual?
well, I would say we expect, the country expects 50% of the usual number of visitors. We have, so let's say the country will be filled in August about 50% of the capacity.
Mhm.
But for sure, the Spanish citizen who will go on vacation in August because everybody is just willing to go outside.
Yeah. All right.
So, but still, it will be a good moment to visit the country because we will not have the big
Crowd.
numbers of visitors yet.
Mhm.
And I would say today, 90% of the monuments are open.
Mhm. All right. That's good.
So,
All right, Jordi. So we are ready to start the presentation. We can have more
okay,
questions after, but,
let me share the screen.
but thank you.
Let's see if you can see it. Can you see it well?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, let me make a good use of time. Today is about 5 experiences in Portugal and Spain. These experiences are focused in kids, interesting for kids, about art, history, and heritage, and a lot of sightseeing and nature with active itineraries. And also one of them has to do with culture and traditions. And here we go with the first one. This is in Portugal, in the Azores Islands. This is I would say, off the beaten track experience. Why is that? Well, the Azores are a set of 9 islands located in the middle of the Atlantic. This is Portuguese territory, but maybe because of the distance, you have almost a 3-hour flight between Portugal and Azores. But maybe because of the distance, not many people engage in exploring these islands. Why should we go to the Azores? Not Madeira. Madeira is another island, Portuguese island, that I will talk another day about it. But the Azores are a set of 9 islands. Here it's just a drawing, but the islands are more split in the oceans. So the distance from Santa Maria to Corvo, one at every end of the set of islands, there is a distance of about 2.5 hours flight, for you to have an idea. These are volcanic islands. And despite this is a very civilized place to be, this has to do this experience about nature. If you like nature, if you like sightseeing, if you like hiking, not necessarily an exhausting hiking, but just a pleasant hiking at your pace, at your shape, fitted to your shape. This is an area of the world really worth to spend 3 days minimum, 5 days ideal, 7 days. We will explore at least 3 islands, which is beautiful. This is the capital city, Ponta Delgada, in the island of São Miguel, which is one of the largest islands, as you see here in the map. This island belongs to the east group of the islands. And here, what are you supposed to do when you visit the Azores? Just relax, look for nature, take a car. We can provide transfers, but I would suggest rent a car, drive and hike, and just watch the beauty of the nature of these islands. In São Miguel, the islands that you have in the image, I will propose 2 itineraries by car. What you see in the blue line is 2 hours drive, so it can be done in a day. But in the different stages of this itinerary, you can do hikes or visits in lovely viewpoints. For example, you have the Santa Iria viewpoint. This is looking east in a very green island of São Miguel. We have other very special places. Remember that this is a volcanic island, and this is the town of Furnas, which is in the heart of the volcano. And it's not a dormant volcano. This is a place that smokes continuously. You have warm water, and you can just drop the car at one place, walk for 1 hour, 2 hours, watch the beauty of the nature, and plenty of lakes all around. Oops, sorry. And at the end of the walk, you can take a warm bath in one of the natural pools of warm water due to the volcanic islands. It's also a place where they produce great tea. These are the tea fields in Gorreana, north of the island. And then another day, if you stay in Ponta Delgada city, you can take the car and do this other itinerary into other parts of the island. Again, volcanic landscape. This is the area called Sete Cidades, 7 cities, because there are 7 towns around these big lakes, I have to say. And as you can see, this is the easy itinerary that you can walk and watch this nature. It's a beautiful place, quiet, where you can relax, and where they have lovely boutique hotels in the middle of the nature or in the city. Another place, Lagoa do Fogo, in the same islands of São Miguel. And then taking a flight from São Miguel into Flores Island, the island of flowers, you can then have another experience also about nature, looking in places like the Cascata da Ribeira, da Ferreiro, or visit the Fazenda de Santa Cruz. As I told you, this is a civilized place. There are plenty of little towns all over the islands, and there is life and there is a culture in this place. But the main attractiveness is nature. This is why they call it Ilha das Flores, because it's full of flowers almost all the year. The nature is impressive. You can see the different lakes at different levels. These lakes are because of rain, because we have Atlantic storms that cross the islands, but it's not a problem when you are visiting the island. You have some showers from time to time that fill the lakes. And another example, if you spend like 7 days visiting the Azores, I would strongly suggest that you visit the Ilha do Pico, which means the Peak Island. And why is that? Well, the island is called the Peak Island because it has this big mountain, a volcano, another active volcano. But because this island has the particularity that they produce excellent wine and in a very special vineyards. What you see right and left of this pathway are vineyards which are cultivated in between lava or volcanic rocks. Can you see this? And here they produce 3 varieties of grapes only in this island, which are Arinto das Azores, Verdelo, and Terrantes do Pico. And thanks to this, they produce in these fields excellent red wines, also white wines, but red wines out of volcanic soil, which is something very unique in the world. So if you like nature, but you also like the culture of wine, Azores is a place that you have to be. I want to say that all the trails and hikes along these islands are very well signalized. You will have no chance to get lost, and you will really enjoy discovering the islands. There is one more thing that you can do in Azores, especially if you go there with kids or the young ones, which is whale watching. The islands are in the middle of the Atlantic, in the pathway that whales follow north to south, depending on the season of the year. So you can really watch huge animals next to your boat very easily. Spring, summertime is probably the best moment to do this, but they really get so close. And they are big, big animals. Of course, we also have some dolphins and incredible sunsets in the quietness of these islands. So this is about Azores: nature, hiking, quietness, some wine, and whale watching. Worth it. Really a special place out of the beaten track. So this is about the first experience that for today. This is a summary of what I just mentioned to you. And here we go with the second experience. We change totally the register now. We move from the Azores, now we move to south of Spain into Seville city. Seville is a very special city in the country. I have said many times it's my favorite city, and it should be the capital of Spain as it was for centuries. And Seville in the south, they celebrate once a year in April, they celebrate the Feria de Abril, the April's Fair. The April's Fair, what is it about? This is a tradition for centuries. And then before I show you more pictures, I just want to say this is a festival of color, dancing, music, sherry wine, horses, carriages, and a lot of fun and happiness. If you want to know what life is about and how enjoying life is about, go to Feria de Abril at least for 1 or 2 days. Feria starts, it's in April, always, only in April and always in April. It starts with the light opening of the big gate in Seville at night. You see it's crowded, nobody with a face mask at that time, but soon. And every year the shape of this gate changes. So it's also, there is a contest who designs the nicest shape. And everything starts here around this gate. Right and left, you can see like tents, groups. These are tents where everything happens. This is in the heart of the city. They do this setup every year for a week, and this is where everything happens. People dress for the occasion, traditional dresses, men and women. You can see that they are always with a cup of sherry wine at hand. This is present all the time. It's just a week of beauty, color, music, dancing, sherry wine, and happiness. You will see a lot of horses. These horses are something culturally very important in southern Spain. All these horses are influenced from the Arabs when they conquered the country. And these are Arab breed horses, which for the people who know about horses, they say is a very good breed of horses. Everything happens in the casetas. Casetas are these tents, you see this in the roof, and there are hundreds. This is the interior of one. And the most important thing is that this is by invitation only. So these casetas are set up by organizations, association of friends, companies, the city council, groups of friends, whoever. They just order a caseta to have a caseta for their friends for a week in Seville. And what happens inside these casetas? People meet, people eat, people drink, people dance, and people just have fun. It's the feria. They don't, a feria is like a fair in English, but they don't trade anything. They just enjoy. They just meet, dance, drink, and eat. This is like this all the time, dancing and dancing and dancing all the time. And here they come. You will see horses and people dressed for the occasion. This is the normal thing in the Feria de Abril, with, I would say, a lot of style. Ladies too, they take the reins. And well, beautiful people. This, for example, is Rivera. He is a bullfighter. And this, for example, maybe you know them. She is the Queen of Holland and the King of Holland, that they come every year in Seville for this trade, for this fair. She is from Argentinian origin, and probably she knows Spanish, and that's why she likes to come. But this is something that many people from all over come just for at least one day in the feria. And if you wish, but we need to know that with time, maybe we can order a dress like this, suited to you. We have several places in the city where you can go. They take your measurements, and then you have your dress for the occasion. And that's it. What we do in the Feria de Abril, we pick you up at the hotel with one of these carriages. We take you to one of the casetas that we have a special agreement with them, so that you are invited to that. And you can spend the afternoon or the evening or whatever, dancing, drinking with someone who explains to you how to enjoy life. So just dare to come, which is a beautiful moment in the city of Seville. It's a unique moment. Oops, that's it. Third experience for today. We change again the register. We are now in the northern part of Spain. And this is about art, for people who love art. Probably most of you know about Dali, the surrealist painter, one of the craziest men I have ever known about. And we have north of Barcelona, the Dali Triangle. Dali was a very special artist. He died in the late 90s. And this map is for you to situate yourself. We have Barcelona at the bottom, and 2 hours and a half north of Barcelona, we have the Dali Triangle. 3 towns where everything about Dali happened. Cadaqués, in the town of Cadaqués, where he lived. The town of Figueras, where he set up himself the Dali Museum, a very special museum and one of the most visited in the world. And then Púbol, which is the very little town in the middle of the countryside where Dali bought a castle for his wife. So here we have Cadaqués, the town of Dali. Is a beautiful place. I would say the richest people in Barcelona have a house here, so it's not a cheap place to go, but it's beautiful and unique. And here we have the house of Dali that can be visited by invitation only. It's a public place, but you have to ask for a specific date and time to visit, because it's a place with a lot of magic. Dali, this was a a set of small houses of anglers in the area that Dali started refurbishing and changing until it ended being like what you see. It's a very special house and very important for those who like art and Dali specifically, is that the landscape that you see from the house is usually seen in all of his works. For example, you see, this is one of the works by Dali, and this is exactly the landscape that he could see from his home. You can visit the house with a very strange garden with a very interesting shape for this pool. Very strange corners. You see that, well, for example, what you see in the back of this image is a lighthouse, is the light of a lighthouse. And then he had the Pirelli lounge. Why that? I don't know. But he was one of the craziest men on earth. And it's full of bullfighters figures, small figures around. He was a surrealist painter. And the sitting, the pink sitting are the lips of Mae West, the artist. In the garden, you can see the olive grove, the giant, made up of roof tiles and the shipwreck. So the broken heads in the middle of the garden, the studio of Dali, the room from Dali and Gala. Gala was his wife, very important. I wanted to show an image of Dali, probably the crazy, neurotic, paranoid genius, always special. Then, following this triangle, we have the Pubol Castle. This is the house of Gala, the wife of Dali. They had a very special relationship. Gala was quite older than Dali, but he was in love with her, and she inspired him in most of his paintings. You see an image of both Dali and Gala in the garden of this castle. This is Gala, and she really influenced and was decisive in Dali's works. You will see Gala in many places. And they had a very special relationship. Gala is always present in Dali's works. And then they had a special relationship because Gala wanted the house for herself. So Dali bought this castle. It's like a medieval castle, and where he decorated it, and she had the throne. This was the place where she received Dali when he came for visiting her, after sending a letter asking for permission to go and visit her. And without a written answer, he could never go to the house to visit her. So really a very strange relationship. This is Gala's bedroom, decorated by Dali. It's a beautiful place. The house is really a medieval palace. And in this palace, you also will see a special garden where many of the things that you see in the paintings of Dali, like these elephants, you will see them in the garden. So it's like a ghosted garden around this castle. And third, because we need a third place to configure the triangle, we have the Dali Museum and Theater in the town of Figueres. This is a special place. This is a special museum, and I want to say that this is also very appealing to young people and kids. It's not a place for adults specialized in art, but kids love to see what Dali was able to imagine. This was designed by Dali himself, and he is buried there. This is in the main hall, actually, and is a place that kids love to visit. We have the Raining Cadillac. Don't ask me, because I never understood what Dali was about in his works. But what I can tell is that inside this Cadillac, it rains. There is water pouring from the roof of it. I don't know. But also, this is one of the things I like more in this museum, is that he had his own view of the creation. You know that in the Sistine Chapel in Rome, we have the creation by Michelangelo, but he wanted to paint his own vision. And of course, if you look upwards and you see the sky and God and the man is up there, then what you will see are the feet of them. So that's what he painted. This is the room, my West room. So he was really passionate about her. And finally, I wanted to mention that in this museum, in a special section, you have a very special collection of jewels designed by Dali, about the different images that he showed in the paintings, like lips, like eyes, like melting watches or elephants. The jewels are beautiful and unique. So the Dali Triangle can be a one-day tour from Barcelona into this area, and it's beautiful. If you spend the night in the region, in Girona town or in Cadaqués, it's even better, because then you can do that in a more relaxed pace. But this is a special experience for those people that like art, or at least who like to know about this special man who was Dali.
And before you go to the next one, Marianne would like to say you can bring their clients for private tour in the Dali house. Huh?
Yes. It's always the visit of the Dali house has to be in private. In the Dali Theater Museum, there are larger groups, but the Dali private house has to be by appointment. You have to ask for a specific appointment.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you take care of all this.
Well, this is a very simple experience, but I love this. And as I was mentioning to Dominique before, we as a DMC company, we this year, along the pandemic year, we have used our time to become a biosphere committed company, because we think that tourism has an impact in the world's sustainability, and we are concerned about that. So this experience, which takes place in Lisbon, in Portugal, is with Joanna, our beekeeper. And this is about bees and honey. And well, it's a simple and sweet experience, but it's also very important because I don't know if you know, but last week it was the International Bee Day. And it's because bees are tremendously important for our for humans to survive. Without bees in the world, we would not have vegetable food for us, because they pollinate the flowers of the trees that give us fruits, that give us corn, that give us everything. And bees are a little bit threatened by modern life. And a beekeeper is somebody that is really working for the future of human mankind. So what we propose is a 3-hour experience where kids can be the king, but adults as well. No fear at all. You will dress properly, and you will go and live 3 hours with the bees and how they produce honey. Kids are the king here, but I promise adults love to dress like this and love to go after the bees. So astronauts, no, beekeepers. You will visit I don't know in English, the words in English. In Catalan we say ruscs, the boxes where the bees are and where they produce honey. And as you will see, you will learn about them. You will learn how they relate to each other, the bees. You will learn how they produce honey. You will learn about drones. Drones are a type of bees. I don't know if you knew that. Drones are these flying devices, but drones are the workers of the bee colonies. And then you will finish with a honey tasting and more, talking with Joanna, and just having a delightful tasting of honey-based preparations. But I want to stress the importance of this activity because it's fun. You will do something unusual, and you will learn how important bees are for our life, human life, not for the bees' life or nature or a nice countryside. But without bees, we could not survive in the world. It's something that few people know, but it's really serious. So, but this is a fun experience. It's not something to be concerned about and to get out of that just worried about the future of the world. It's just to have fun, enjoy the honey, enjoy Joanna, who is an excellent lady to explain everything. She's passionate about bees. Okay. As I said before, this takes place outside of Lisbon. And the final today experience has to do also with outdoor activities, is what we call a safari in the Pyrenees. The Pyrenees is the area in between France and Spain. It's a mountain range of about 450 kilometers that goes from almost San Sebastian in the Basque Country to where the house of Dalí is in Cadaqués. That is a mountain range of 450 kilometers. The activity we propose takes place inside this black dotted line, about 2 hours and 30 minutes away from Barcelona. This is an area of special beauty. People have the image that Spain is a dry country, a flat country like Andalusia or the central plains of the country, but northern Spain is really green, it's really mountainous, and here we have mountains that are more than 11,000 feet high, and plenty of ski resorts. Actually, in 2024, I think, we will host the Olympic Winter Games in this area. But this is an area of special beauty, lakes, mountains. But I want to stress also that these mountains are not a wild place. Actually, along history, for, I would say, thousands of years, this has been a populated place, and there has been a lot of trade, and it's all the area is scattered with plenty of small towns, like this one of Montgarry, or other towns. Some towns are maybe 10 houses, 5 houses, and maybe are 3 miles away from another town. But all the mountains are like this. In here, we organize what we call a safari in the Pyrenees. Safari can have several orientations. We can think of just walking, hiking, or trekking itineraries across beautiful nature, woods, mountains, nice pathways. But we can also organize it for you to meet local life and traditions, like shepherds that produce their own cheese and that will explain you the tales around these mountains, because along thousands of years, these people can explain a lot of stories. We also have wildlife. I have to say it's not that usual to see an animal like this, but these ones are very common. So wildlife is also something that we can stress along the safari. But we can do biking trails or kayaking at places like the Montreveil Gorge is a beautiful place. Easy, you don't have to be in shape. I mean, I can do this, even me. So this is a beautiful experience. And if you are more daring, maybe we can do some rafting. This has to be in the springtime when the snow melts. If it's summertime, the river is not that brave. But interesting. I've done it several times. And well, I have to say it's not my favorite sport. And finally, we can also do canyoning. So you can just descend the rivers in the mountains. Some people like this. That's not my most important thing. And even in winter, we have a lot of snow in winter, and we can organize the snowshoes itineraries across the mountains. I have to say that this picture happened right after the snowing. Okay, 3 days after this snow is melted. This takes place with a lot of comfort, in a very comfortable fashion, enjoying little pleasures of life. So you will have your wine, your baths, your local food. You will be well fit with the local traditions. And you will be able to visit very special places like San Climent Taul. This is a 900-year-old church. This is a UNESCO heritage site. And we have hundreds of churches like this all across these mountains. This is Romanesque art. This is easy. Don't think this is a safari that will be exhausting. You are not in shape. Any of you would be able to enjoy walking in this nature. The one in the picture is my brother, so I was taking the picture. So I was here. And this is right after 1 hour and a half walking after dropping your car. So it's easy. We had some sandwiches here, we drank our wine, and we enjoyed just being in the middle of this beautiful nature. And of course, you also have plenty of magic and special moments. I have to say that when we ask people about this safari in the Pyrenees, more intense or less intense, one of the things they tell more to us is that we talk to each other because there is no phone coverage all the time. So when you go there with your kids or your teenagers, you really have the chance to talk to them. And it's probably one of the most important assets for a family in a trip, which is to talk to one each other. Because here, the phone, they will not be connected to Instagram or Facebook or whatever. They will just be connected to you, which is one of probably the most important and nicest things of this experience. And that's it. That takes place in the Pyrenees. It has to be a 3-day experience. Less than that is not appropriate. You will not be able to move, to commute to there and then return. And well, that's it.
Thank you very much, Jordi.
These are the 5 experiences I had for you today. I don't know if I used all my time, Dominique,
Yes,
and I will be happy to answer
one more question.
any questions or about this or whatever else.
I think we're all ready to go and experience all of them. I can't tell you which one is my favorite. Marianne, you wanted to know during the triangle, what you call triangle, the 3 Dali experiences, how many days you would recommend?
If you wake up early, let's say if you depart Barcelona 8:30 in the morning, that can be a 1-day tour from Barcelona. I would recommend that you spend at least 1 night in the area because you will be able to do the triangle very well and also visit some other things. For example, let me mention that in that area you have Girona City. Girona City, if you are interested in history and heritage, is the most important Jewish medieval district in Europe. And it's beautiful to visit.
Marianne wanted to know if you have any special boutique hotel or unique hotel in the area of this Dali experience.
There are several. Some of, I would say, there is one 5-star, but the other are 4-star, but some of them are castles. And some others are just country houses, manor houses, beautiful. And I must say the area has excellent gastronomy, excellent.
Marianne, you're asking what season is best for adventure travel to the Pyrenees or hiking and outdoor camping?
I would say mid-May to mid-September.
Right.
That's the best area. After mid-September, mid-October, it's also okay, but the risk of thunderstorms is very high. So you can go out into the mountain in the morning with the sunshine and no clouds, and then in the afternoon, a heavy rain that kills you.
You also wanted to know, Marianne, what are the amenities available in that camp? So when you mean amenities, you probably mean bathrooms or shower, or is there a chef? Yes. I suppose that's what you mean. Huh?
I have to say that this is not like those tents in Kenya, in Africa, where you have that 3 people filling the water in the tube and everything. But these are comfortable tents. You can have as many tents as you wish. I mean, if you want one for you only, and then you have a tent set up as a bathroom. To be sure, have to say.
Yeah. Ducky, you want to know what is the best time of the year to do the safari?
I mentioned before, mid-May to mid-September. That's the ideal time to do that. If you want to do rafting in the river, then maybe mid-April to mid-May.
And back to a question of Ducky at the beginning, when you said everyone vaccinated can enter Spain, so not only the US. Did you mention anything about UK?
Well, about UK is that the UK citizens can enter Spain without any
Vaccination.
control or vaccination control.
Alors,
Spain has considered the UK as a, let me say, sort of pandemic-free country.
all right, perfect. Huh? So US and Mexico, Brazil.
But you have to be a UK citizen, not someone who enters Spain through the UK. It's not the same.
Yeah. And for the kids, you were saying that in Spain, the kids under what they consider kids is anyone under 18, so they are not vaccinated.
Well, kids are younger than 18, but we are not vaccinating people below 18 years old. So far, they will be vaccinated, but not yet.
So does it mean that Spain will allow everyone below 18 not vaccinated, even if they are from a country where they could be vaccinated if they are 18?
Yes, that's my guess so far. I think that the details will be released 2-3 days before June 7th. But my guess is that people under 18 will not be required to be vaccinated, even if they come from the US, for example, where they are vaccinating everyone who wishes that. Europe works differently. It's not you go and ask for vaccination. You are called to go for vaccination when the administration says you can go.
All right. So I think we finished. We have beautiful comment from Alejandra. Hola, Alejandra. Thank you very much for your presentation. Magnifique. And
Thank you.
All of you to be here. Isabel, you were mentioning that Dali designed the logo for the Chupa Chup candy. I didn't know that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm not sure about that. What it's true is that another artist, Joan Miró, he designed the logo of the largest Spanish bank.
Lidia, thank you also. Muchísimas gracias por su excelente presentación. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Marianne as well. And all of you also. I'm speaking on between the Spanish and English. I was going. But thank you everyone, and really Jordi was amazing. So next time we're going to build some itineraries, and probably include some of the things you have done in the past, in those past webinars.
Right.
Voilà.
Thank you.
All right. So I think
you are welcome. Drop me an email if you have any question.
I think everyone, they would like also the PDF of the presentation. So together with the recording. So thank you, everybody. Buenas tardes, boa tarde, buenos dias when it's still a little early from our friend from Mexico, or good morning for the friends from California on that side. Thank you, Jody. Good evening to you, and we'll see you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And tomorrow we have one more webinar. We are going to Costa Rica. So I hope you can join us too. Bye.
I will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.